I'm just gonna go through and clean up Sharon's haircut a little bit. This is a disconnected short haircut. So this is my section for the shortest part of Sharon's hair. And I like this on lots of haircuts now where I take the inside of it really short. I have the same thing on my hair. And it takes that sort of roundness out of the hair and makes it look a little more current. And it gives you the ability that if you want to like tuck it behind your ear, you don't get this big blob of hair. And it's less hair dry, and it just sits and has a little kind of a nicer fit to people's head. And you can do it on lots of people, and you don't have to talk about it. Like I didn't say, I'm going to cut the underneath of your hair sort of shorter. We didn't have a big discussion about it. We just did it. And it looked really cute. So, and it works great on men too.
Were you just talking about moving weight that way?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's important to think about there are 3 ways that you can remove weight. You can layer, you can undercut, or you can texturize of some sort.
Before you started cutting it, did you have to do like lighten all of her hair all around and then you could go over on top of it, or?
Well, she had previously been doing a similar base already.
So it's just
Yeah, because she had grow out.
Right,
This much grow out. So I just went through it with shells and panels.
Oh, okay.
But initially when she came to me, it was all one color, kind of a copper color, and that's when we use that product that's called Magma I was telling you about. It's basically essentially a lightener with a direct dye built into it, and somehow it works.
Colors.
They have a red, orange, and then they have like a silver, like a cooler toned one for the blue one. Usually turns out to be a caramel color. It's never ash. It's always kind of still warm because you're usually looking through some kind of dark brown.
It's an interesting product that, you know, we're an Aveda salon, but we kind of cherry pick other things that work for us, that work. When Aveda doesn't have something for, and there's usually a reason that they don't have it, but when we need it for our work, then we bring it in. And it's a product that has, it's lightener, powdered lightener mixed with fabric dye. So it's a very weird product, because normally if you mix lightener with any kind of color, the lightener eats the color, right? So the two can't work at the same time. They don't peacefully coexist. But it doesn't eat this fabric dye. So they sort of figured it out. So they just put the two together. It's unfortunately an imprecise science. I mean, if I could make hair like really bright red and even by putting that on every time, that'd be a beautiful thing. But you've got to be actually smarter hair colors to use Magma than any product I know. You have to think about the base, the middle, the ends, because they all lighten differently.
And you can't not use a base, or else you get a little band that's
Right.
not even a color.
It's like funky.
Yeah.
So it's a really interesting, for those of you, you come down and spend any time at the salon and want us to show you that product, it's cool. You know, and when you want it, and it works great, but it's an unusual product.
So what do you guys think of?
Alright, see you tonight.
So for styling today, Gary has chosen the Brilliant Retexturizing Gel.
So I don't know if you noticed, but when I put something on my guest, I show it to them, I tell them what it is, I put it on my hands, I let them smell it. I've done Sharon's hair for quite a few years. I still do that every single time. So it's just a really smart way, number one, of letting them experience what it is and letting them connect to it while you're, and then if she were sitting in front of me, I would sit this in front of her, face forward, not thrown to the side, and none of the secret product thing behind the back. It's really, people want to know what you're using on their hair, and they want to know more rather than less. They want more words, lots of words about why that works and what it feels like and how often to use it or how much to use it. You show them how much.
So Sophia is doing a really great example of optimizing color usage. And I think that's a really important fact, especially when using a Aveda color, because we want to save the environment by using less color, and we don't want to put that color down in rain. And so to do so, Sophia is sort of applying the color not only a little bit at the base, but she's also kind of applying some to the mid shaft, so that she can pull the color from the base out to the ends. And that's really, she's not, you know, it's getting a really nice even saturation, and she's really making that color rise.
Curly hair, so men's liquid pomade with retexturing gel on top of it, favorite thing. Almost all on men's.
So another great thing about these brushes is literally like lick it in the bowl. There is nothing on that brush, like, you know, when you have a regular brush, you get so, I mean, you can take that thing to the bowl when you're cleaning it and squeeze out like so much color. I mean, we're just sort of optimizing exactly what we put in the bowl, like fabulous. Couldn't say enough.
So remember when we started, we talked about a nice, rich chocolate brown, and I think that's exactly what we got. And for those of you, you can take a look at her, but you can't really see where the 3 is and where the 5 is, but you can see that it's not all one color, and that's the point. So it's just a nice, rich chocolate brown. Yes? Are you, about an inch. I mean, they're really large sections. They're about an inch on short hair like this. Now, longer hair that's going to look flatter, and if you're worried, and if you're further apart than 2 levels, you could maybe make them a little smaller. But on short hair that's going to sit up a little bit anyway, you can make really big. In fact, if you make the sections too small, it doesn't work. I mean, you're not going to get enough variation. It's no fun. Too big. Any other question? She's got a little pen for her too.
Go forth.